Hello everyone and welcome to a very spicy review, as we are going to discuss the most broken tower in Kingdom Rush Vengeance, and try to find out whether it's still just as good in the ReVengeance mod. This tower is called Blazing Gem in vanilla, but ReVengeance changed its name to Dark Obelisk.
No man should have this power.
Blazing Gem is insanely strong in vanilla for one main reason: DPS. Crazy DPS of the Blazing Gem comes from its damage amplification. It deals times 2 and then times 3 damage to an enemy when it's locked onto the target long enough, which you can improve to times 4 with the Gem of Amplification. With it, Blazing Gem can actually achieve 240 DPS, which can absolutely melt even bosses, and make boss fight experiences in vanilla laughably easy. In the ReVengeance mode then, it's no surprise that Dark Obelisk got hit with the nerf hammer quite hard. It now deals less damage, and its damage amplification only goes up to times 1.2, 1.6, and finally times 2 with the Gem of Amplification. Moreover, it now deals less damage against bosses. All of this was done to ensure that Dark Obelisk wouldn't be a get out of jail free card, and so that you couldn't spawn camp bosses with it. That does not mean that it's weak or unusable in ReVengeance though. I do prefer Infernal Mage now, but for the longest time I used Dark Obelisk and found it very useful and strong against certain enemies. Its DPS isn't as outrageous as in vanilla, but it's still the best in the game at level 4 when it's fully locked onto the target, even without the Gem of Amplification. Obviously it's hard to calculate what the average DPS over the entire run would be, but if the stage has a fair share of giant armored enemies, and if you can clear away the hordes of smaller enemies by other means, then Dark Obelisk is a pretty good choice. It still is the DPS king, and it is still decently good against the bosses. As I have already mentioned, Gem of Amplification got nerfed and only increases the damage by a factor of 2. But I still think that it's an absolute must-have and should be purchased early on, since extra damage is essential for the role that Dark Obelisk fulfills, killing giant enemies. Destructo-Ray, meanwhile, was reworked in an interesting manner. Its cooldown was nerfed hard, and the level 1 cost doubled, but now it targets the highest HP target in range. This makes it the most expensive, slowest, but also the most powerful instakill in the game, and probably in the series, as I don't remember any other instakill specifically targeting highest HP enemies. So it's a high risk, high reward upgrade, which can be game changing in the right circumstances. So if you aren't short on gold, I'd definitely recommend investing in it. I don't really buy unstable power all that often. It does give Dark Obelisk some crowd control capabilities by generating extra area damage on every kill, and I did find it okay when testing. However, crowd control isn't Dark Obelisk's main purpose, and should be left to other towers or heroes anyway. So there isn't much of an incentive to purchase this upgrade. Moreover, when comparing unstable power with Infernal Mage's Lava Fissure, it's not even close. Lava Fissure is significantly stronger, and actually gives the mage decently strong tool against swarms. So if you are looking for a mage which specializes in killing single targets, but also has some crowd control potential, Dark Obelisk is definitely not the right choice, and you would be better off with Infernal Mage. Another important aspect of Dark Obelisk that we have to discuss is its attack pattern. Instead of firing one by one, it locks onto the enemy and does not stop hitting them until something interrupts it or the enemy dies. This can both be a blessing and a curse. On the one hand, if it targets the right enemy, then you are guaranteed to achieve monstrous DPS with full amplification. However, if it locks onto the wrong enemy, then it can take a while to retarget, and it's very easy for enemies to slip by. Furthermore, upgrading resets the amplification, so I am often hesitant to do that, which makes the tower somewhat annoying to use at times. Overall, I have to say that I still love Dark Obelisk. It's a strong single-target mage tower with insane capabilities, but at a heavy cost, both with regards to its drawbacks and to its literal cost. So it requires good placement as well as other towers and a hero to make the most out of its insane potential, which is exactly how a tower like this should be balanced. That was all for this video. In the next one, we will be starting artillery towers with our first one, Goblin Rocket Riders. Take care.